All right, guys, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome. If you are new, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you so much for waiting patiently for the intro to do what it does. Today, we have some very interesting topics to go over and talk about. Some absolutely wild times for the video game industry, some crazy things going on. One of those things is, unfortunately, Insomniac seems to have been hacked, and it seems to be some kind of ransomware type situation where basically these individuals have all of this information and data. Pretty much, it sounds almost like they have everything from Insomniac, including Wolverine, any other projects they might be working on. They have employee information, which is not good, of course, and this is why this, I mean, generally speaking, this situation sucks, but that just seems to make it significantly worse. Sony has actually responded to this. They've answered VGC and their request for a comment. We'll talk about that. Some images, apparently, of Wolverine have leaked, and I'm going to let you know right off the bat, I will not be showing anything. Okay, I will talk about what I've seen. When it comes to any actual details about Wolverine, like what's the gameplay going to be like, what's the story, are there any other characters, that stuff, as far as I'm aware, has not leaked out yet. And it seems like this is what they're threatening. They're basically threatening that if they don't get what they're asking for, I think in like a week or something, they're going to leak everything out there. And so yeah, we definitely have to talk about this. There is at least one thing I think we are learning right now about Wolverine that I don't think is a big deal. I don't, but I think it's pretty cool. That's why I want to talk about it. So we'll talk about that. We also have to talk about the day before. I don't know if you guys are following what is going on with this studio and this game, but it's absolute insanity. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in the gaming industry before. It is an absolute shit show. The likes of which I don't think, again, we've ever seen. So we got to talk about this. We're also going to be talking about E3 and how E3 is done. We've been talking about E3 being done for a while now. We've been talking about it for what feels like years. But today, officially, and I mean it's as official gets, E3 is being laid to rest. So we'll talk about that as well. And let me see. I may have some bonus topics towards the end as well, but I won't mention what they are yet, just to see how this stream goes. So, yes, before we get into any of these topics, I want to again extend a big thank you to everybody who watches the content. If you tune into the stream live, if you tune into it later on, if you watch the videos, anything at all, thank you so much. Do me a big favor, please hit that like button. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the streams, and you want to communicate that to me, just take a second of your time, hit that like button. And there are 3 ways you can support me directly. The first is you can become a channel member. You gain access to some exclusive perks. One of those perks is the Members Lounge. We will be doing a Members Lounge after today's stream. So for anybody who is a member, join me. For anybody who is, gifted a membership, if that's something that occurs today, you will have access to that. And so the second thing you can do is gift channel memberships. This is a way to help grow the membership community as well as support me directly. It's a big thing we do on the channel. And then finally, last but not least, I have a couple of super chats here, which I'm going to read. You can donate a super chat, ask a question, make a statement, give an opinion, anything in between. It all helps me more than you know. So again, one more thank you for everybody who supports the channel. I do rely on you guys. This channel and this content is fan funded. So thank you. But I have 3 super chats in a row here from PS Gamer. So PS Gamer, thank you so much for that, buddy. You're saying, hey, MBG, I work in cyber, Insomniac right now. You're saying Insomniac right now in risk for the Wolverine ending to be leaked. Their IT operation has been disturbed. And then you say here the dev team will not be able to upload their work to the code repository until the forensics team investigate the incident. This could take 2 to 3 weeks at least. Some work is already lost. This could lead to the game being delayed more. Wow. Well, PS Gamer, I appreciate you giving us a little bit of insight into that because I honestly had no idea. Like when I hear something like this, and I'll go over the details in just a moment, but when I hear about like, any type of company or system being hacked, my assumption is like, yeah, that's bad, And I feel like at that point I'm kind of just waiting to find out just how bad it actually is. But you're giving us a little bit of insight here, and this sucks. Like this right here, if this is true, absolutely sucks. The idea that they're losing development time, they're potentially losing work that they've spent who knows how long on, right? That they might not be able to get back. Um, it's not good. It's not good. And again, Sony did comment, so we'll talk about that. Um, I think one of the biggest worries when you hear about something like this, right? Wolverine, Insomniac being compromised, the question then becomes, you know, are the other PlayStation studios just as vulnerable, right? Is the same thing going to happen? Um, it's concerning, you know. It sucks. Saying this seems to happen very often to PlayStation. Yeah, it does seem like Sony has some security issues, generally speaking. Um, it I don't know why. I don't know what they're doing wrong. But we have a PS Gamer again, man. Thank you so much for the super chats and for the insight. We also have King Sam. He says, "Hey MBG, going to watch the stream later on as I'm going to be playing God of War Valhalla. Shout out to Devil Shooter for the timestamps. Always a big help." I appreciate the super chat, man. And yeah, I think I saw you said earlier that by the time I was going live, that's exactly for you anyway when Valhalla was dropping. And so yeah, I hope you enjoy yourself, King Sam, and I hope you enjoy watching this later on. Thank you so much for the super chat, bud. We have Capono 5150 member for, or sorry, yeah, 5150 for member for 7 months. Got really confused there for a moment. You're saying, MBG, can you give us a thank out? Hopefully you remember who that's from. Dude, I remember the thank out. What was that for? What was who did I give the thank out to? Well, either way, yes. Capono, here's your thank out. Everybody watching, everybody who supports, this is your thank out. A thank out. All right. Let me bring this up here. I need to go over this report with you guys, give you the scoop, let you know the situation. It's being reported by VGC. Spider-Man developer Insomniac Games has reportedly been hit by a cyber attack that threatens to expose sensitive data about the company, its employees, and its upcoming games. As reported by Cyber Daily, ransomware group Ricidia, or Ricida, however you say that, has published data online which appears to corroborate its claim that it has successfully hacked the Sony-owned studio. The gang's proof of hack data is said to include an annotated screenshot from Insomniac's upcoming Wolverine game, plus artwork that could reveal other Marvel characters set to feature in the PS5 title. It also appears to include employee passport scans, a personal document related to Spider-Man voice actor Yuri Lowenthal, internal emails, and confidential documents. The Ricidia gang is threatening to publish the stolen data in 7 days, but it is also hosting an auction for which it is with a starting price of 50 bitcoins, approximately $2 million. With just 7 days on the clock, seize the opportunity to bid on exclusive, unique, and impressive data. It said, "Open your wallets and be ready to buy exclusive data. We sell only to one hand. No reselling. You will be the only owner." BGC contacted Sony for comment on this report, and Sony did reply, or respond, I should say, to VGC. They said, update here in the article, Sony Interactive Entertainment has Let's try that again. Sony Interactive Entertainment said in a statement issued to VGC that it's looking into reports that Insomniac has been hacked. Quote, "We are aware of reports that Insomniac Games has been the victim of a cybersecurity attack. We are currently investigating the situation. We have no reason to believe that any other SIE or Sony divisions have been impacted," end quote. So yes, the fact that Sony actually responded goes to show that there's something absolutely going on here. And as of right now, this is really all we have. And I don't know what Sony's going to do. You're saying Bitcoin can be tracked on the public ledger, not the smartest choice. You're saying last week Sony was banning their own customers on PS Plus. Yeah, I saw that. It was like some kind of glitch or something. I don't know. But yeah, this situation absolutely sucks for Insomniac and for Wolverine. And like, I'm very much hoping that nothing else gets leaked out, because the images that they're showing of Wolverine seem to be legitimate. Like, based off of what I can tell, they look real. I think it's. I mean, it's hard to tell, but they definitely seem like they could be real. And I haven't seen these images anywhere else, and they're not clear. It's worth noting that the images that are leaked out there right now, um, they are very small, and you have to zoom it in, and so you're getting this really pixelated look at them. Um, but it sucks to see that this keeps happening to Sony. And the shittiest part about this is that it's employee data and stuff. Like, it's one thing if it's just the game and info about the game, but like, you know, them talking or seemingly showing off that they have information about the voice actor of Spider-Man, Yuri Lowenthal, like, that fucking blows. I want to go see if there's any other update here. All right, so it's trending now on Twitter. I'm trying to find the image. Okay, yeah. So I'm I'm not going to show these two images of Wolverine. Okay, just to make that clear, but they're out there, and they're not like, they really don't reveal very much. Let me so I'll describe these two images, and again, they're not spoilery or anything, so you don't have to worry about that. We don't have any info about this. Can you see his face? No. So they are shots from behind, so you can't see his face. The first one that stands out the most here, it looks like Wolverine is standing in somebody's house. It looks like, and their house is really disheveled and messed up. Like, it's really messy. He does have, so to describe his costume here, he has the yellow helmet with the what would you even call them? The ears? I don't know. I've never thought about how to describe Wolverine's helmet, but he has like the traditional looking helmet on. And I assume that wraps around the front. Again, you can't see the front of it. It's the helmet is yellow and black, but then his outfit looks more tactical. It kind of looks like he has what looks to be almost like a short sleeve compression shirt under, under what looks like some kind of tactical vest of some kind, or armor potentially. Yeah, actually, now I'm looking at it, it looks a little bit more like almost like Kevlar of some kind. I don't know. But it looks like more tactical than I would have assumed. Like, it doesn't look like a traditional like comic version necessarily. But from what I can tell, the only yellow part of his costume that I can see here, because again, it's a third person over the shoulder shot, very similar to God of War. So you can't even see like the bottom part of his body here. His arms look ripped and hairy, which is to be expected. He has short sleeves. It looks like he has the gloves on though as well, like kind of up to the middle of his forearms. And the rest of the costume just seems to be either black or brown. It looks like it could be a really dark brown color. And it's pretty interesting looking. Like, it doesn't look bad, but it looks more grounded, I guess, than I don't want to say than I was expecting, but it just has this kind of grounded look to it. Why do I sound unimpressed? Well, it's because you have to understand the image I'm looking at is very blurry. Like, it's not clear. And I assume it's very early in development. Now, there's a second image here. And this one's interesting too, because this one seems to show the same kind of camera angle. It is this third person God of War over the shoulder camera angle. And this time it's Logan, how we saw him in the teaser trailer, where he has his flannel on, he has the cowboy hat. And again, you see him from behind, and it looks like he's standing there in front of the bar itself. And again, this shot is very pixelated. It's really hard to make out any actual details here. But the one thing that this leak seems to confirm, again, if these shots that we're seeing here are actually legitimate, yeah, it seems to confirm that it's going to take inspiration from like again, like these are not combat shots, so the camera angle will likely change. I would assume the camera angle will change when Wolverine is in combat, but they are very zoomed in, very close. Like the first shot almost looks as close as like when you're in an interior, like if you're playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, right? Like that close over the shoulder. That's the first shot. The second shot is more zoomed out, but in the second shot, he is outside. So yeah, it seems to confirm that it's going to take some type of inspiration potentially from, these other PlayStation exclusive games, which I don't know if people are going to have a problem with that. I think this is good. The one thing it does seem to confirm, I mean, not fully because we have to wait till we see actual combat gameplay, but it does seem to confirm that it's not going to be like a zoomed out, type of camera angle. Where I think in past Wolverine games we've seen this where it's like, I want to say it's like overhead, but you're just more zoomed out, almost like I'd say similar to the classic God of War games. I don't think we're going to see that here. It does not look cartoony. No, it looks pretty realistic. Again, it's very difficult to make out the details, but based off of what I'm seeing, it does not look cartoony. It doesn't look like stylized at all. It looks pretty realistic, from what I can tell here. But yeah, man, if these screenshots are legitimate, I have to imagine Sony is very worried right now and trying to figure out what they're gonna do, because it really does sound like if Sony doesn't, like if these ransomware people don't get what they want, if they're not bluffing it, it sounds like they're going to dump everything, man, or sell it, potentially. And whoever they sell it to will likely dump it. And I don't know, like basically what I'm saying is if Sony can't sort this out, it seems like it's just a matter of time until we have some major Wolverine leaks on our hands. Like these leaks today that we're talking about for the game itself are minor, like about as minor. It would be like, oh, here's a leaked screenshot or two of Wolverine standing in a location. It's like, well, not the like. To me, this doesn't really mean anything, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, I kind of don't care about these screenshots because, yeah, I guess technically this is the first look at Wolverine, but is it really though? like is this really our first look at Wolverine? Technically, yes, but realistically, no. This is not how we're meant to see this game. And it's very underwhelming, very unexciting, very pixelated, very blurry, very low quality. But it really does give me this kind of feeling that, I don't know, man. See, stuff like this probably kills the morale of the devs too. That's another thing that's really disappointing is they're probably over there feeling, frankly, just depressed that, if these screenshots are real, this is the first way people are seeing the game. Scared, obviously, that their personal info is now apparently up for sale. It's depressing all around, man. I don't know why this stuff keeps happening to Sony. But I'm sorry if I seem a little bit distracted. It's just because oh god, I think I just inhaled a hair. Um, it's just because I'm trying to see if there are any updates that are going to be coming out with this because I don't know, man. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this to happen. I feel like we've been, I don't know, man. A bunch of shit's been happening with Sony. Insomniac is just going to drop the trailer in 7 days. Shit, man. Well, something else I do want to point out here, and something that I do think is worth mentioning is we're getting this. He's saying, come on, MBG, the info leak can be bad, but the rest is meh. Show us more. Well, I'll be honest. Like, if Wolverine does end up leaking out, like they actually start showing a lot more. I don't know, man. Like to me, this is kind of one of those. This is one of those situations where I'm 50-50 on the matter. Where it's like I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit, just a little bit. Just kind of getting that, like, ooh, I'm seeing like first little leaked gameplay. It's a little gameplay clip of Wolverine. I'd be okay with that. But what I don't want is like a Last of Us 2 situation where it's like, and here's the whole game. Like that I'll be honest, if that happens, I'm going to be doing my best because that's like worst case scenario. Obviously, Sony does not want that to happen. Sony does not want that to happen. But if that is what ends up happening, like a full blown, like, here's everything about Wolverine, like that, like the whole game is out there, practically, kind of like The Last of Us Part 2. I'm gonna do my best. It'll probably be impossible though, realistically speaking, but I will do my best to avoid it at all costs because I don't like at that point I'm just gonna be fucking annoyed that it's like really, like this is one of the most anticipated games and this is how it's got to go down. That would suck. That would really suck. But I did want to say, I wanted to say that one of the interesting things about getting these two screenshots of Wolverine and seeing the camera angle being very similar to God of War is we did get a rumor. I think it was from Jeff Grubb. Somebody can correct me if I'm remembering that wrong. But we did get a rumor that apparently the game is not going to be open world. It's going to be wide linear, pretty much just like God of War. So we look at this camera angle. It looks very similar to God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. And then we kind of pair that with the rumor that we heard previously that it's going to be wide linear in the vein of the recent God of War games. It sounds like what we may have on our hands here is a very God of War inspired Wolverine game, which sounds phenomenal to me. Like that sounds incredible. That sounds perfect to me. I know that some people talk about, like, I'll be honest with you, man. I get that there is a desire from a lot of people where like they want different types of games from PlayStation. And I'm not against that, to be clear. Like I want some different games too. I want some variety. And I think we are going to get that. That's why I'm not worried about it. I think we absolutely are going to get that. But I cannot get behind or agree with the notion that, oh, I'm getting tired of this cinematic third person single player games. It's like, I don't understand the formula that people speak about. Like people talk about like, oh, there's this formula for PlayStation games where they're like the same. And I'm like, I don't know that you've played these games if that's really how you feel. Do they share similarities? Sure. But many games share similarities, you know? But this idea that it's like, oh man, we don't need another single player third person narrative driven game. It's like, why not? You know what I mean? Like my question is why not? What is bad about that? Oh, I'm getting tired of it. It's getting stale. It's like, okay, well, there's like, I mean, have you looked beyond Sony's games? Like, have you seen the diversity of games that are on offer? Go check the PlayStation Store, man. You'll be overwhelmed with the amount of different types of games you can play. But I want it from Sony. It's like, okay, well, they're working on like 10 live service games, man. And trust me, they're going to be the opposite of this. So I think people just need to kind of pump the brakes a little bit. I really think they do, because it's like, believe me when I tell you, if Sony listened to these people and just decided to stop making these games, oh man, the only thing you would hear are people crying and complaining that we need to go back to these types of experiences. We need to go back to these games. That's exactly what would happen. People would be begging for the very thing that they claim they're getting tired of. So I guess I'm just going on this little mini tangent here, because the idea of this Wolverine game from Insomniac taking inspiration from God of War sounds awesome to me. Like, if there was any game that they should probably take some kind of inspiration from, more so God of War than Spider-Man. Honestly. Yeah, people complain about everything regarding PlayStation. I'm tired of the same one and done single player third person over the shoulder formula. I hate that Sony's making 10 live service games. Like, well, what do you want them to do, man? I just don't know what people want from Sony. Like, I guess maybe the only thing is they say like they kind of miss the era of PlayStation where there was like, Sony Japan, and they were like putting a bunch of weird shit out at certain times. That I could understand, and I think that's fair. But I just think, generally speaking, it's like, I don't know, man. I already see people kind of complaining about Wolverine, and I'm like, give me a fucking break, man. Saying they hate it because it's on PlayStation, but they'll praise it if it's on Xbox. Well, that's a small group of people. They could be the same people, yeah. They could be, but I don't know, man. I'm very excited to like, when I say I'm very excited to see more Wolverine, I don't know that I'm excited about the like anything leaking, but I'm just excited to, I don't know, man. I'm a little nervous, I'll be honest. Like, I really don't want this shit to leak out entirely. And I don't work for Insomniac. I'm not a developer on this game, and even I feel like, I hope Sony can figure this out, man. Like, it almost makes you wonder, will Sony just pay them? Do you think that's what'll happen? Like, Sony will just be like, you know what, fuck it, we can't risk this. Just pay him the $2 million. I mean, I know it sounds like, oh no, they won't, but I think you'd be surprised. I do. I think you'd be surprised that, like, you know, if the clock's ticking and they have no other choice, if their hands are tied, some organizations pay the ransom. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking like Sony just might do it, because if you think about it, it might be the smartest way to go about it. Like, it sucks because it's like the bad guy wins, but if the only other option is all our shit's compromised, like the game, we lose stuff, all the employees' information. I mean, like, I'll tell you right now, if I was an employee, I would hope Sony would be willing to pay it to keep the employees safe, But it sends a really bad message, Because there's also the chance that, like, they could be bluffing. We went through this not too long ago, if you guys remember, where a group claimed that they hacked the entirety of Sony, and they did the same thing. They were like, if you don't pay us in a certain amount of time, we're going to release all this, and nothing ended up happening, and they were bluffing. At least that's the assumption, that they were bluffing. And this could be a similar situation, but it's those screenshots. Like, Sony would know, Insomniac would know by looking at those screenshots. But it's not even just the screenshots. It's like the employee information that they're kind of posting, like passports and stuff. That to me is kind of that seems to be the indication that, yeah, this is real and we have to take this seriously. We have Surge343 with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. You're saying Ghost of Tsushima and Wolong reviewed at 83 and 81 respectively. I feel like Ronin should be close to them, maybe 81, 82. Ghost should have been higher. I agree. Ghost of Tsushima, like, look, when I say I agree, I'm just speaking for me. Like, I don't care about the review scores of games, truthfully speaking, because it's like, I don't know, man. It just, the only time I really pay attention to it is if it seems abnormally low. Like, an 83 for Ghost of Tsushima to me is fine, generally speaking, because it's like, oh yeah, I could see how maybe not everybody thought it was like a 8 or 9 out of 10 game. Maybe some people played it and thought it was a 7 or like a 6.5, which is a little bit lower than I would say. But it's not like if Ghost of Tsushima was sitting at like a 73 or something, I'd be like, that's a little weird. What's going on here? But for me, Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima was to me pretty much close to a 10 out of 10. And, like there were definitely some imperfections, some things that I think could use some improving, certainly, in the sequel. But considering it was their first time making a game like that, I think Sucker Punch knocked it out of the park. It's one of my favorite games ever. So yeah, I don't agree with the 83, but you're saying Wolong reviewed it 83 and 81, respectively. Or Wolong reviewed it 81, I mean. Well, yeah, it's interesting because people were talking to me about Rise of the Ronin and they were saying, like, got to keep your expectations in check just because, like, Team Ninja apparently is somewhat hit or miss where it's like the person, I forget who said this, but they basically said that um when it comes to Team Ninja, it's all about the combat. Like the combat and the gameplay is like S tier, but other aspects can be lacking. And that's interesting to me. But I mean, Rise of the Ronin looks pretty good. So yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people, I think, a lot of PlayStation fans are looking at Rise of the Ronin and they're thinking to themselves, well, this kind of, it shares a lot of similarities seemingly to Ghost of Tsushima. But I think everybody's kind of not expecting it to be as good as Ghost of Tsushima, but if it can hold its own, I think that's what will matter because that is interesting. You're saying Ghost of Tsushima is an 83, Wolong is an 81. I mean, it's a 2-point difference. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they will share more similarities than we realize. So Serge, I appreciate that super chat, buddy. Thank you. We also have Josh Z with a $10 super chat. Very generous. He says, I just beat Crisis Core Reunion for the first time ever. Having the full context of Zack's story and his history with Aerith, among other things, will make Rebirth so much more interesting to play. That's interesting to hear, Josh. I think plenty of people have recommended Crisis Core Reunion to me, but I just realistically, I don't think I'm gonna get around to it. But I don't know. You're saying it kind of adds the full context. Yeah, I mean that to me that's one of those like weird situations where it's like it kind of feels like I probably should know this, right? Like I should play this. I should have that full context for these integral characters in Rebirth story. But people have told me before they're like, you kind of don't need it, you know. So Josh, I don't know. Maybe you can let me know what you think. Like, do you think this is, now that you've completed it? Would you say for anybody who's going to go into Rebirth that it's a must play, like you need to know it, or do you think it's just one of those things where we'll just add more to it for those who have played it and do have the full context? Yeah, Rebirth looks awesome, man. I can't wait for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You just lent your buddy's son your copy of Crisis Core yesterday. That's cool, man. Let me see here. But yeah, Josh, dude, I appreciate the super chat. You're saying I won't like it. It's too much RNG. Well, Josh, you've been listening to you. I mean, you've been here a long time, man. I think you know me pretty well at this point. So I'm going to take your word for it. But Josh, I do appreciate the super chat. You're saying where the hell is the Ragnarok DLC? I can't find it. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I haven't downloaded it yet. I didn't re-download God of War yet. Is it just going to be like a is it just going to be, I don't know, is it just going to be kind of like an update? Like it's just integrated into the game? Like it's just there at the main menu or something? Or do you have to actually search it and it's like a separate download? It's both. Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard. So I have some information on it here. Flatted Fifth with a $2 super chat says, was hoping for Logan vibe over Yellow Suit Wolverine. Well, that's the thing is, they show the picture here of Logan that we saw at the bar, and it's definitely more of a Logan vibe. And looking at this suit, like I think something we have to keep in mind is because it's Insomniac, like we're gonna have a bunch of different options to choose from. Like there's a pretty good chance you'll be able to play the entire game in like the red flannel and cowboy hat if you want. Like I think that's where we're gonna see similarities between Spider-Man and Wolverine, where you're gonna have all these different suit options and you can choose whichever one you want. Um, I mean, the suit that I'm looking at in the image, I don't know if that's going to be like the main suit, right? It almost looks like it could be like a bonus suit or something, an unlockable suit. But yeah, you're saying story is great, but the gameplay is not for a new Final Fantasy fan. Maybe just watch the cutscenes. Yeah, that's an option as well. That's an option as well. I want to read this to you guys just so everybody knows. Santa Monica Studio has confirmed that God of War Ragnarok's free Valhalla DLC will come with its own set of trophies. The content is available today and will be accompanied by an update with the base game. Patch notes have yet to be released. Thanks to the resident PSN backend scraper PlayStation game size, we know that Valhalla will weigh in. It says here it's 7.6 gigabytes on the PS5 and 8.3 gigabytes in the EU. The latter weighs more due to localization packs for multiple languages. Valhalla is also headed to PS4, but PlayStation Game Size was not able to confirm the size of it. So it's out now. I guess people will know. But these trophies, it says, as for the trophies, we've looked over the PSN profiles, and it looks like the trophy set has yet to go live. Obviously, that's changed now. It is live. But it was confirmed that these are going to be separate trophies. So for anybody who hasn't played it yet, if you're planning on playing it, these trophies are going to be separate. You don't you don't have to worry about it. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I don't really think they would have integrated them to the regular platinum trophy list. Because if you got the platinum, you got the platinum. I just wonder how many there are. I don't know, maybe somebody here, if you've already played it, you can let us know. I see SGT is asking if there's any new info about the next Resident Evil game. As far as I know, the answer is no. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything about or come across anything about a new Resident Evil game. I think the only thing I heard recently is that Capcom basically confirmed they're going to do more remakes, but that's it. That's basically all they said. They didn't like say what remakes they're going to be. I think most people are expecting Resident Evil 5 remake next. Which I don't know, man. Resident Evil 5, it's a good game, but Resident Evil 4 is my favorite. For me, I kind of started to fall off of Resident Evil somewhat after 4. I couldn't get as into 5. I didn't really care about 6. And it wasn't until 7 came around that I'm like, oh, okay, this is different. Very different from what I remember from Resident Evil, but I kind of like it. 8, and I'll be honest, like I couldn't really get into Resident Evil 8 that much. It was okay, but I don't know, man. I kind of feel like Resident Evil's losing me a little bit as it goes further. Like I don't know what Resident Evil 9 is going to be, but there's 12 trophies. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right for like a free DLC. Is there a members lounge today? Yeah, there's going to be a members lounge for a little bit today. Yeah. You couldn't get into Village until you played it in PSVR 2. Yeah, I could understand that. PSVR 2 definitely takes things up a notch for sure. Um I would like to see a new Resident Evil game in the vein of Resident Evil 2 and 3 and 4 remake, if that makes sense, right? Like kind of taking that type of gameplay but having a whole new Resident Evil game instead of it being a remake. That's kind of what I would want to see. SGT says yes. Yeah, I think that would be the best way for Capcom to proceed forward with Resident Evil, but I don't know that they're going to do that with 9 because I don't know. I think there was like a rumor that Resident Evil 9 is basically going to be like it's going to wrap up the Ethan Winters saga here. And I don't know what that means for the characters that we like know and love. I don't know, but yeah, I think that has to be the way forward, right? Cuz to me that's what I love. I mean, I've always, believe it or not, what I love about the Resident Evil remakes is not the nostalgia factor. Like the nostalgia factor is a big part of it. Like, oh man, Resident Evil 2 and 3 and 4, like I loved it, but it really was just how amazingly adapted the gameplay was. I'm like, this is next level. So if they could just take that, put it in like a whole new game in the Resident Evil universe with new characters, and if they want to keep like the more horror aspect as well, I think they could do that too. Actually, you're saying you have zero interest in RE5 and 6 remakes. Code Veronica I could get behind. Yeah, Code Veronica would be a good one. 5, I think people would want to see 5. If I'm not mistaken, I think Resident Evil 5 is still the best-selling Resident Evil game, which is so funny to think. But I think 6 was ridiculous, man. Like, if we're being honest, 6 was just like, what are you guys doing? I think they just lost their way. You know, they lost their way. They're like, what is Resident Evil at this point? Like, I don't know. I don't think it's whatever this is. You've never played Resident Evil 5? It's pretty good. But Resident Evil 5 to me is where it started to get a little bit, maybe not even a little bit, but pretty silly. I do feel that way. Like it was good, but there were certain, like Chris Redfield punching a boulder, right? It's like, okay. And we have The Rock. The Rock comes in and kicks off the day with a 5 bomb. He drops 5 membership gifts for the community. The Rock, dude, thank you so much for that, man. That's very kind of you. Let's get some W's in the chat for The Rock.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Got to give him a soundbite here. The Rock, I'll give you a snake as well, buddy.
Kept you
Good
waiting,
stuff,
huh?
man. Let me add that to the counter here. So there we go. 5 members. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you for the support. Redfield is a Chad. The Rock says, no problem, guys. You're saying you should try RE5 then? I mean, yeah, you might be safe just waiting a little bit at this point, honestly. Because I'm pretty certain they're gonna remake Resident Evil 5 next, just because again, it's the best selling Resident Evil. So it's like you're gonna remake 2, 3, and 4, but not 5, the best selling one. 6 doesn't need a remake, but 5, I think just from the perspective of like, we could probably sell a lot of copies of this. We have Viking Thunder. Viking Thunder decides they want to become a channel member. They could have waited for a gift, but they said, you know what? I want to become a channel member. I want to show some direct support. So Viking Thunder.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much for showing that type of support. That's the type of support that I rely on. All the support that you guys show. You make it possible. So Viking Thunder, welcome aboard, man. Look forward to your perks. I hope you enjoy your membership. Good stuff. Good stuff. So that brings us up to 6 members. Uh, let me see here. Yeah, we still have to talk about the day before situation. Absolutely wild. I can't wait to talk about that. Okay. All right. So before I get into any of the other topics, before I get deeper into them, I want to just let you know I came across this because I didn't know about this. Tekken 8 will be getting a playable demo on PS5 this week. Bandai Namco has announced, releasing at 8 a.m. GMT on December 14th, a full week before it's available on Xbox and PC. The demo will include limited versions of Story Mode, Arcade Quest, Offline Versus, and Gallery. So it sounds like a pretty robust demo. The game isn't coming out till January 26th, so I just wanted to let you guys know about this because I didn't know. Like, I just came across this, and so yeah, I'm interested in Tekken. I'll play this demo for sure. So in 2 days on PS5, you'll be able to download. It sounds like there's a lot on offer there too with the demo. So good stuff. Good stuff. Just you say The Rock, you're saying you just bought Lies of P, you beat the first guy, it took you like 20 times. Is there no way to change the settings if I need to? As far as I'm aware, there's no way to make Lies of P easier except for you have to just try to like I I was gonna say get good, but like I don't know. You have to maybe you can grind a bit and level up. Experiment with different weapon combinations. So I will tell you. I will tell you. Little update on Lies of P. I I told you guys I was at the swamp area and I got to the boss battle. I don't know if anybody knows the name. I'm horrible with names in games. I don't know if anybody knows the name of the boss in the swamp area. It's like some kind of swamp monster. It has 2 phases, and oh man, that to me, this was the test in this game. I don't know if it's gonna get harder than this, but that was like that started to push me where I'm like, okay, like I'm starting to lose it here. And I will say I did defeat this boss this morning, but it took me honestly, yeah, it probably took me close to 20 tries. It was really the second phase of that boss that really started to get the best of me. Where the first phase I kind of mastered and I was able to get through very quickly, but the second phase he becomes a lot more spontaneous and annoying, in my opinion. But I'm trying to remember which weapon I used. It was a boss weapon. It was like this. I think it was this sword you get if you craft it from the first boss of the game, where you can kind of turn it almost into like a giant pokey spear. And I just like fucking poking this guy. I'm like, stay away from me. It's I was getting pissed off, but man, it was really satisfying to defeat him. What did I think of Walt Disney as the final boss? I understood that reference. I understood that reference. That's so funny. Um, you're saying 20 tries isn't that much. Pretty sure I fall into bosses 50 plus times when I was younger. Well, that's the thing, man, is like I was kind of getting through Lies of P I don't want to say easily, but like not hitting walls like that. Um, and I kind of had a feeling I'm like at some point I'm going to hit a wall. And this was the second wall I hit, not counting that clown boss. But um yeah, I'm curious to see if like if I encounter a boss that was harder than this. Because if I do encounter a boss that was harder than this, I still think I could defeat it, but I do think it will take a lot more, from me. Because this was pretty challenging. I was convinced at one point that like I don't know that I'm going to be able to beat this boss. But then it happens. I do think sometimes it does take a little bit of luck. Like when you kind of are going through the process of just rinsing and repeating just dying, respawning, going back, fighting the boss, dying, respawning, fighting. There are just so many moments where it's like, and I know everybody who's played these types of games experienced this, where it's just like, well, even though I basically have mastered the first section of this boss battle, somehow I took like 10 hits and half my health, uh, you know, reserve is gone. So it's like, well, this attempt is over, That happens a couple times as well. So, you just have like kind of these unlucky moments. Like the boss I'm talking about in particular, one of the most annoying things is when you first enter the boss arena, he does a unblockable charge attack. And the only way I figured out I could like avoid it is I just had to back up. And I was like, yeah, what are you going to do now? You can't destroy me as soon as I walk in. And then he did it again. Like I backed up, I avoided it, and I thought I, succeeded in finally figuring out how to avoid this unblockable attack. And then he just does it again. And I'm like, okay. Like it's going to be one of those boss battles. We have Kyle Film with a super chat. He says, MBG, have you seen the PlayStation Plus annual wrap up thing? Have you taken a look at how many hours you spend on the console this year and your most played game yet? No, actually, I didn't know. Is this something that just came out? Oh, holy shit, that's crazy. Sorry. I just like popped up on I just hopped on Twitter again real quick, and one of the first articles I see is how the developer Fantastic of the day before seems to have changed its name. Like, what are they doing? Oh my god. What are these people doing? MBG, someone said if it were a FromSoft game, it would have won a ton of awards, been a Game of the Year contender, and they're right. The bias is real. It kind of invalidates rewards. I agree. No, B Flesher, I just want to say, like, it is pretty clear to me that the biggest negative for Liza P publicly facing is the fact it wasn't made by From Software. Because that is 100% true, man. If this game was made by From Software, it would have been up there as a Game of the Year contender. I have no doubt about that in my mind. But again, I haven't beaten it yet, but I'm like 30 hours in, and I assume I'm getting close to beating it. It's really good. It's really, really good. So, yeah, Hogwarts got screwed as well. But I kind of get it. Like, I can kind of understand how it's like, well, maybe FromSoft ultimately gets more credit for any game that they make that uses that Souls formula because they created it. I think that is true as well. Like, I think it's fair that FromSoft automatically gets more credit. Like, if they make Dark Souls 4 and Dark Souls 4 is basically super similar to Lies of P in some ways, where like they actually took a couple things from Lies of P and they were like, this is great, let's do that. This is just a total hypothetical. I think From Software would get more credit just because it's like they were the inventors of the genre. Like they were the pioneers, they created it. So I get that as well. But I do think, I got to be honest, man, it is sad to see like how, I don't want to say Lies of P is getting overlooked, but it is a little bit. Like it's going a little bit too much under the radar. Where I'm like looking around, I'm like, guys, are you seeing this shit? Like this game's amazing. I'll be honest too, man. I don't know how much Microsoft paid to get this game on Game Pass. This is the best game on Game Pass, straight up. Like I am shocked that Microsoft was able to secure this on Game Pass. Where I'm like, I don't know, man. This is a really, really good game. Like this is a game that I would have thought would not be on any service day one. So great game though, man. But let me see if I can find this PlayStation wrap up thing. Okay, here's the 2023 wrap up. It's been a fantastic year for gaming on PlayStation. Celebration. We're excited to share PlayStation wrap up. Officially launches today. see if I can. Oh, they have like a dedicated site for it. Whoa. Okay. All right, let's see. Give me 1 second while I sign in here. Oh, I think. Oh my God. Okay. Hold on. Shit's getting all messed up. Sorry, bear with me, guys. I'm like typing everything in wrong for some reason. Because I'm curious about this too. I kind of forgot that Sony does this every year. All right, here we go. Have you guys done this yet? The yearly wrap. I'm just waiting for it to load. It's taking a little bit. Let's find out. Says I played 32 games. I guess that sounds about right. Honestly, that sounds high to me. 32 games. What the fuck was I playing? Dude, I don't remember playing 32 games this year. I'm kind of impressed with myself. Maybe for some people that's low, but for me that's high. Does it tell you the total amount of time you spent on it? Oh, wait, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this here. My first game of the year. Can anybody guess what it is? Come on, you guys got to guess it. My first game of the year played on January 1st, 2023. Yep, Dark Horse was the first one. DBD. DBD was my. Apparently, that was the first game I played this year. That's interesting. It says, "Whoa, you sure spice things up spice things up with heaps of variety." And all started with a leap of faith. Wait, are they trying to tell me that me playing Dead by Daylight this year was a leap of faith? Sony, I don't know, man. All right. How do I unlock this? What's going on here? How do I unlock the second one though? How do I progress forward? Oh, the arrow, of course. All right, let's see. What's the second thing here? Here are your biggest hitters of 2023. Dead by Daylight. Holy shit. Guys, how many hours? Dude, oh my God. That is wild. How many hours do you think I spent on Dead by Daylight? I can't believe that shit. What? Dude, it is so far beyond. 200 hours, 500. Dude, it's more than 500. It's close to 1,000. It says I've spent 808 hours. 808 hours. How? Like, that's something. Okay, hold on. To be clear, though, hold on. I know this is a little bit inaccurate because I'm like, there's no way. There's no fucking. Yes, exactly, B-Flesher. The amount of times I've left my console running at the main menu, at least, it wouldn't surprise me. Well, even then, I mean, I can't even sit here and say like 100 of those hours were just me idle. Touch grass, MBG. Holy shit. That's crazy. Let's see. The second game here is Final Fantasy 16 with 102 hours. Oh, by the way, it says for Dead by Daylight, it says I've earned 46 trophies. See, that's really shocking to me. That's very shocking to me because like that's a lot. I don't remember earning that many trophies in Dead by Daylight this year. But I guess just randomly unlocking shit. Final Fantasy 16, 101 hours, 50 trophies. Mortal Kombat 1. Wait, what? Mortal Kombat 1, 55 hours. Oh, you know what? Okay. Wait, what? That can't be right. You know, though, okay, in Mortal Kombat 1, I spent an ungodly amount of time getting what's the trophy? It's for yeah, that's a huge drop off, dude. So basically in Mortal Kombat 1, there's these trophies for like, I don't know, your backup character or your cameo character, and you have to level each cameo character up to the max level 5 times. And that shit took forever. So that's actually not surprising to me. How am I looking this up? If you go to the PlayStation blog, they have the PlayStation Wrap Up 2023, and you can do it from there. Dude, I cannot believe that. That's crazy. My 4th game. I have a difficult time believing this one. I really, really do. It says I gotta go back and check this myself, because this can't be right. This is my 4th game is Remnant 2 with 54 hours. What? That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, this doesn't make sense. My 4th game is Starfield. That's crazy, though. Like, I just have a difficult time believing. Like, so you're telling me I spent more time on that than, like, Hogwarts and Dead Space and shit? Really? Holy fuck, I'm addicted to Dead by Daylight, though. If there's one thing this is revealing to me, is I'm completely addicted to Dead by Daylight. Did I finish Remnant 2? I did, yeah. So, I don't know. I don't remember playing it much longer, though, after I finished it. That's what's weird. My 5th game is Resident Evil 4 Remake at 40 hours, which isn't that surprising to me. So there we go, man. Delger, you're saying you quit Dead by Daylight? Are you sure you did not leave Dead by Daylight on, like, AFK half the game? To be honest, I can believe that I put this much time in Dead by Daylight. You know why? Because Dead by Daylight is a game I play pretty much every night. Not literally every night, but on a weekly basis, I'm playing it at least 4 or 5 times a week, because I play with my wife and my friends. It's just like the go-to multiplayer game. Like Sony, if you want to get me on a live service game, you're gonna have to pry me away from Dead by Daylight. I won't lie though, like it's getting very tired. Like, I'm getting very tired of Dead by Daylight. It's just routine at this point. It says you played 99 games. Holy shit, dude. That's a lot. Do I think Sony's going to add roguelike elements to all of their games? Probably not all of their games. I guess they could, maybe. Possibility. Disco Cobra 2013 with a very generous $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that, man. Disco Cobra, appreciate all the support you've been showing. You're saying here, are you that shocked that the devs for the day before shut down? I was hoping it would get more updates, but this is weird. So I guess everyone was correct. It was a scam. Kind of sucks for people who got it. So, Disco Cobra, hang tight, man, because that is my next topic, and I have a lot to say about this, because there's a lot of information. But to answer your question really quickly, and then I'll give you a more in-depth answer in a little bit, I'm not that shocked. Like, it's shocking in the sense that we've never seen something like this, but when you kind of connect the dots and take a step back and look at what the hell was going on, it's like, okay, maybe it's not that shocking. But yeah, dude, they literally said shit happens as a response. Oh my god. Oh man, they're done. They're done. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I'll just finish this wrap up here. So I think I have a couple more tabs here. Your gaming style, thrill seeker. You spent 76% of your time on the edge of your seat, following your goal no matter the odds. What does that mean? I don't quite understand what Sony's trying to tell me here. I guess maybe that I stick to like certain games, I guess, and I try to unlock everything in them. Is that what it's trying to say? All right, what's the next thing here? Your year in play. Let's look at what you got up to month by month. Oh my dude, this is so depressing. Hold on. What? Okay, this is making me sad. And this is making me realize I have to stop playing Dead by Daylight. Dude, January, game of the month, Dead by Daylight. February, game of the month, Dead by Daylight. March, game of the month, Dead by Daylight. April, game of the month, Dead by Daylight. Apparently in May was my least amount of time. No, June. My least amount of time played with 61 hours. Now, my game of the month for July, Final Fantasy 16. We did it. We fucking did it. August, Dead by Daylight. September, Dead by Daylight. October. No, holy shit. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Guys, my game of the month for December so far is Lies of P. We could end this on a strong note. You're saying I talk a lot about service games and all I do is play Dead by Daylight. Well, that's the thing, man. That I've always said to people, like, I'm not against live service games at all. Like, I've made it pretty clear. I've many times gotten addicted. Like, dude, before Dead by Daylight, it was PUBG. I get addicted to these service games, man, and I just keep playing it. And you know what the main reason is, though? I know. The main reason, though, is because it's the social aspect. That's what I've learned, man. So, like, I do understand, like, why developers find such tremendous success with so many live service games, because when any successful live service game has a major social aspect, and that's the thing, Dead by Daylight, the reason why I have all of these hours racked up is because I play it with my family and friends, you know? So it's just any other game I have, you know, whether it's a multiplayer or not, like I have to question, you know, is that going to take the place of the game that I play with my family and friends? It's like, well, it could, maybe, but PUBG was the same way. I got addicted to PUBG before Dead by Daylight for a long time because of my friends. Like, we were just had this routine of we would play it every night, every single night. And eventually we just got tired of it and moved on. I'm the reason why Sony's investing so much in live service. Well, to be clear, it's interesting because even though I've spent so much time on Dead by Daylight, I would like to know how much money I spent on it. Because I definitely have spent some money on Dead by Daylight. I bought a couple of killers. And I think I bought the Nick Cage skin too. I mean, how am I going to pass on that? But I don't know, man. This is one of the reasons why I am interested in seeing Sony do this, because it's like, yeah, I can get into live service games, but the point is, guys, we can bring it on home in December with my top game being Lies of P. Will we do it? Will we do it? I love how there's a tab here for PlayStation to advertise PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium to me. Are you kidding me, Sony? Come on. How many hours have I played this year? 1,407 hours. Shit. That to me feels, I mean, that's a lot. 1,400 hours. Most of it Dead by Daylight. Yeah, dude. It turns out the PS5 is my Dead by Daylight machine. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Fuck, man. Maybe I'm just going to rebrand my channel then. I'm going to become a Dead by Daylight streamer. It was nice. It was nice. But you spent 550 hours on the PS5 this year. MBG reached over 1,000 hours. Well, I wish Sony could calculate. I know it's impossible. I wish they could tell me how many hours of this is just my console being at the main menu or being at loads, or yeah, like menu screens. Because I'm really bad. I'm like worse with that than I want to admit. Like, dude, I will like walk away from my console and go do something. I'll come back. And so it's my console's in rest mode. I'm like, oops, you know? So those 1,400 hours, I can tell you for sure, not all of that is gameplay. Definitely not. I think the bulk of it is gameplay. But it wouldn't surprise me if it wouldn't surprise me if it told me like 150 of those hours are just idle time. Saying 1,830 for you. I want to know if somebody here has like an absurd amount. Does anybody here have like 4,000 fucking hours or something? Because that would be crazy. Yeah, I think the console only goes in rest mode when you don't have a game booted up. I want to know. Somebody out there has like 4 or 5,000 hours, which is so insane if true. Cuz to me like dude, 1,400 hours, that's a lot. Last year you had 3,500. Damn, a lot less this year. 3,500 is impressive though, man. You have over 5,000 hours on Destiny 2 on Steam. The highest amount of hours you have Devil Shooter's 1,800 in a game. Is it Dead by Daylight? 400 hours in Cyberpunk. That's good, dude. MBG wants to know who here doesn't have a life. Dude, apparently I don't have a life. Shit, man. It's crazy how you don't think about that. Like if you would ask me what's your most played game this year, I probably would have said Dead by Daylight, but I didn't think it was by that much. Like, oh my god. Actually says I really need to touch grass. Yeah, probably, man. I'm gonna have to start taking breaks in between play sessions. Go outside. Maybe I'll just put a gaming setup outside. How about that? I'm glad that Final Fantasy's up there, though, you know? All right, let me see. How many trophies did I earn? 418 trophies. Says I only earned 2 platinums? What? That can't be true. How is that possible? Wait, so I know I got Final Fantasy 16's platinum. What's the other one then? Oh, I think it's true. Guys, I think it's happening. I think it's happening. I think I'm starting to lose my will to fucking trophy hunt. Yeah, I fell off. Oh yeah, Spider-Man 2 is the other one. Wow, that's it? Holy shit, dude. That means for the first 6 months of this year, I didn't obtain a single platinum. I don't know how I feel about that. Like a part of me feels kind of good because I'm like, yo, maybe I just don't care about trophy hunting anymore. But another part of me is like, what? 41 platinums? That's pretty good, dude. You got Jakey, you got 20 this year. That's good too. Fuck, man, you guys are making me look weak as hell. 2 platinums. You have 1,600 hours in Red Dead 2. Kyle, you're saying 4,000 hours playing Fortnite. MK1 is my most played. 4,000 hours in Fortnite. I mean, oh jeez. It's out there, dude. A lot of people probably have that amount of time racked up. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You also have 2 platinums? I see a couple people here saying they have 2 platinums. All right, I'm glad I'm not alone. Actually, you're saying you're not a trophy hunter, far too tedious for you. I totally understand, man. Like as I get older, I'm feeling that way more and more. Like for example, I'm really enjoying Lies of P right now. Like a lot. I'm enjoying my playthrough very thoroughly. I'm gonna check the trophy list once I beat it. And if it just looks like stuff I don't want to do or that I wouldn't have likely tried to do on my own, I probably won't pursue the platinum. But it would be, I don't know, it's like one of those games where it's like, I feel like I would like to get the platinum for it. Yeah, dude. I was gonna get the platinum for Resident Evil 4. At least I thought I was, and then I saw the requirements. I'm like, I'm good. I. It's gonna make me hate this game. I'm good. You got 666 trophies. Oh, that's cursed. Wait, so you got the Spider-Man 2 platinum, but Dead by Daylight was your game of that month. Oh yeah, dude. Probably. I mean, I don't know. Am I able to go back and? I think I can go back. Oh, come on. It has to load the whole thing again. All right. I'm not going to go all the way back because it has to reload it. But yeah, dude, like I think I platinumed Spider-Man 2 in about 33 hours. I mean, it is true. Like when people use the term one and done for Sony's exclusives, I mean, it's like technically it, it's a, it's true. Like they are one and done. Like you play them, you platinum them, and then most like 99% of people move on. So I get why people use that terminology. The problem with the one and done terminology is the way people use it. People use it as like a slight, like one and done games, like it's a bad thing. And it's like I don't think it's a bad thing. See, this is why I'm totally okay with Sony having live service games because it's like that's how I play games, man. When I play a single player game, I get everything out of it that I want to get out of it. Sometimes it means getting a platinum. Apparently this year it didn't mean that. But it just means playing the game, beating the game, spending the amount of time with it that I want to spend until I'm satisfied. And then I put it down, and then I'll go back to whatever go-to multiplayer game I play with my friends and family. And then I wait for the next single-player game to arrive, and I just kind of seesaw back and forth. Clearly, I spend a lot more time with these multiplayer games, though, just because of the routine aspect of, like, the social go-to every night. You guys getting on? Yeah, okay, let's play. Let's do some rounds. So if Sony wants to get in on that and they do it with some quality games, I'm on board. Yeah, 100%. I just don't want them to fuck it up. That's all. You're saying replayability is only one factor that determines a game's quality. Agreed. Agreed. It'd be very strange if that's the only thing. Somebody like determined whether like I only decide if I'm going to play a game based on its replayability. I don't think most people operate that way. John, you're saying you replay a lot of games? Yeah, that's true. Hellblade 2 is going to be one and done. That's not a bad thing. Feral Flame, you're saying E3 is posted. They're done for good. Yeah, I was going to talk about that too. This is a bonus topic. I actually didn't know this dropped today, but we'll mention that. New Soul 9 member for 7 months says, I want my Days Gone sequel. Days Gone is what made me get a PS5. I liked it way more than The Last of Us. I hope Sony just gives the IP to someone. You're not the only one who wants a Days Gone 2, New Soul 9. A lot of people do. I would like to see a Days Gone 2. I'm telling you, I think one day we might get it. I don't think it's going to be any time remotely soon, but I think one day we will see Sony return to Days Gone. Maybe. I got to trim my mustache, man. You replayed Uncharted 4 for the 4th time this year? Surge343 says to continue with the samurai theme. What's your experience with the Animusha series? Capcom needs to bring a series back to life. Second one is the best. Honestly, I have no experience with it. I've heard of it, and I think I've watched like some videos on it as well, but I never played it. Um, that's one of those game series that has just completely eluded me. If they do make like a new Animusha game, I'd definitely play it for sure. I don't know that I would go back and play the older ones though. But doesn't Capcom didn't they announce like they're doing like a like some kind of series for it or something, like a Netflix thing or something like that? Or am I crazy? Did I just make that up? Tony, you're saying you have really bad memory, so you can play the same game every few years and they feel new again. I feel like I'm kind of like that too as I get older. We should do a member stream talking about which games have the highest replay value. Well, obviously Dead by Daylight wins. But yeah, Serge, to answer your question, man, my experience with the Animusha games is pretty much zero, other than just seeing like trailers and some gameplay and watching a couple videos. But even then, I still don't fully understand like what the game is about. Um, and I feel like I've seen a lot of people wanting Capcom to bring that back, and maybe they will. I don't know. Is that like this is just a series that I feel like I'm totally out of the loop with. All right, let's see. Your social style party animal, 401 parties this year. Uh okay. That's a weird statistic. And that's that, man. That's my shit's got to change in 2024, bro. It like listen, if there's one thing going over this 2023 recap has revealed to me is something's got to change. And that something is, dude, I gotta play less Dead by Daylight, man. I gotta find something else. The truth is revealed. Sony fire up the games as a service. Well, I don't know, man. That's the thing. Is like I said, I play Dead by Daylight like religiously almost every night. And the thing is, like, I don't even play it for that long every night. I think I play it for maybe like an hour a night. But then there are other times randomly where I want to play a couple rounds as killer. But I'm thinking going into next year, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna have to turn to Mrs. MBG and be like, sorry, I can't play any more Dead by Daylight. Did you see my my yearly wrap up? It'll be interesting to compare next year's though, for sure. I like those generators. I will say, like, what something I would like to know as well is knowing that most of my gameplay time came from Dead by Daylight. I want to know, okay, was like the bulk of that spent playing as killer or survivor? Because I play both for very different reasons. Playing as killer is much more gameplay oriented and skill focused, in my opinion. To whereas playing as survivor is much more like social focused, or I'm playing with friends. Dude, everybody always thinks I'm wearing a do-rag when I wear my hat backwards. I mean, I can see why. It is pretty difficult to tell. It is difficult to tell. Um, but I got to get back to what New Soul 9 said here. New Soul 9 was talking about the day before. Guys, we got to move on to the next topic here. All right? And that is the absolute disaster shit show that is the day before. This is a report from WCCF Tech. They have an original story and an update. The original story says, well, that was quick. Originally revealed back in 2021, the day before was promised to be an ambitious open world looter shooter zombie MMO along the lines of something like The Division. And impressive early gameplay trailers earned the project a large following on Steam. Then the delays came, with Fantastic sometimes offering odd excuses for why the game had to be pushed back. The game did finally arrive this past week and was slammed with negative user reviews, as it turned out not to be an MMO at all, but more of an extraction shooter and not a good one. Now, only 4 days later, developer Fantastic has announced they're closing their doors. No more updates will be developed for the day before, and the future of the game is, quote, unknown, although one has to assume it's not exactly bright. Apparently, servers will stay up, at least for the time being. Today, we announced the closure of Fantastic Studio. Unfortunately, the day before has failed financially, and we lack the funds to continue. All income received is being used to pay off debts to our partners. We invested all of our efforts, resources, and man hours into the development of the day before, which was our first huge game. We really wanted to release new patches to reveal the full potential of the game, but unfortunately, we don't have the funding to continue the work. It's important to note that we did not take any money from the public during the development of the day before. There were no pre-orders or crowdfunding campaigns. We worked tirelessly for 5 years, pouring our blood, sweat, and tears into the game. At the moment, the future of the day before and prop night is unknown, but the servers will remain operational. We apologize if we didn't meet your expectations. We did everything within our power, but unfortunately, we miscalculated our capabilities. Creating games is an incredibly challenging endeavor. We're grateful to everyone who supported us during these difficult years. Now, there's an update here where it says Valve has seemingly made the move to delist the day before from Steam. While the game's Steam page is still up, you can no longer purchase the game. Those who purchased the game are reporting being able to receive refunds, even well beyond the usual 2-hour limit. And it just gets even worse. Okay, I think my oh, all right. It looked like my chat broke for a second there. It just gets worse because well, check this out. It says here, I think it leaked out how many copies exactly it sold. So it says here the day before sold 200,000 units and had over 91,000 refunds. And I think it was being sold for $40. So I don't know, man. It does sound plausible that the game was a financial flop. Apparently on Twitter, the studio, let me see. Let me see if I can find it. They actually replied they replied by saying shit happens. I'm trying to find it. So they're out here responding to people. Somebody replies by saying, "Unbelievable! You guys hyped this game up so much, and this is the end result. You guys are an absolute disgrace to the video game industry." And they replied by saying, "This was our first big experience. Shit happens." Like, oh my god, dude, what an absolute shit show, man. I mean, is the game a scam though? Like, it seems like it is. It does. Like, it really seems like it is potentially a genuine scam because it's just so weird that they're like, yeah, we made this game, we sold it, and now they're suddenly, oh yeah, we didn't make enough money, and we delisted the trailers, and we're closing the studio, and they're like really focused on saying how like we didn't scam anybody, we didn't scam, we're offering refunds, and it's like I don't know. Like the whole thing stinks, man. Lawsuit incoming if they did keep anybody's money. Yeah, like that's the thing. I mean, it must be tempting to like be like, well, maybe we can keep a portion of this, but it's like, I don't think you want to do that. You know, like I don't think you want to do that because somebody's gonna come after you. Um, you could say it's been abandoned. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Don't even go there. Don't even go there. I can't go down that rabbit hole again. Not again. New Soul 9, you're saying MBG, you should play Warframe if you are big into social games. Also, I believe Sony should look into that team to help them make live service. Yeah, I don't know, man. Warframe has always eluded me. And I saw that it was at the Game Awards again. And I'm like, damn, this game's been around for what, like 10 years? So it's clearly a relatively or even very successful live service game. I won't lie, man. The thing that's so daunting to me about live service games is knowing how long they've been going on for. Like the longer a live service game has been going on for, the more hesitant I am to actually check it out because I'm just going to feel like, how am I ever going to understand what the hell's going on? Like this game has evolved so much. And I don't know if Warframe is like that, but yeah, I'll have to think about it. I think right now I'm just like waiting for Sony to actually like drop a live service game to see if I'm going to be able to get into it. Is I feel like Helldivers 2 is going to be live service, right? Right? I kind of get that feeling with it. You're saying Warframe is boring. Hmm. Well, I mean, they've been able to keep it going, so that's pretty good. But yeah, this situation with the day before, man. I don't I don't know how this shit happens. But you know what? Somebody mentioned abandon. And check this out. Not that this has anything to do with abandon, but it's just because I randomly came across it as I was scrolling through the Gaming Leaks Rumors subreddit. It says Kojima Productions filed trademarks for OD. Social Scream System. Social Stealth System. What? What are these weird systems? Social Scream System. Social Stealth System. I don't know, man. Like, what is a social scream system? Make your neighbors call 911. What? What crazy shit is Kojima cooking up, man? You're saying, bro, you play games to be antisocial. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my chat is like glitching out here. Trying to fix it. The fuck? Okay. Um Kojima's hacking my chat. All right. I don't know what's going. It keeps like kind of lagging out or glitching out and then it comes back. But yeah, I don't know. This whole situation with the day before, I put in my title here that the situation is sad. It is. It's genuinely sad because it's like people, I don't know, Sony should look into this or something. Because something that seems clear is people want this type of game. They want like a big MMO open world zombie survival game, and they want it to be AAA. Like they want it to like be really refined. And I'm like, well, okay, Sony, you just paired up with NCSoft. They're known for MMOs. They have expertise in this. You want to make a successful live service game. I don't know, man. Maybe they could look into creating something like this. Maybe, I mean, dude, maybe this is what The Last of Us multiplayer could be. If they really wanted to expand it in a big way. Saying even though Helldivers might be live service, you are on an alien planet killing giant bugs. It's literally Starship Troopers. Yeah, that's true. How come Steam didn't catch this before release? I don't know, man. State of Decay 3? Yeah, State of Decay 3 could be that. Absolutely. I've always imagined that's what State of Decay could achieve. Kyle Film, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. You're saying MBG, apparently that God of War DLC is huge, and most reviewers said they could easily charge money for it. It is bigger than most people expected. I'll go play it now to avoid spoilers. All the best, MBG. Well, thank you, and thank you for the super chat, and I appreciate you letting me know that. I was really curious. I wasn't expecting to hear about it yet, but according to what you're saying, that the feedback is, wow, this thing's actually really, really huge, or like much bigger than maybe was expected, for a free DLC. That doesn't surprise me, honestly, though, because it's like this is Santa Monica Studios' first attempt at creating a different type of gameplay experience in the God of War universe. So the idea that they would really want to like make players feel good about it. Like, there's a lot of meat on the bone here. That doesn't shock me. Um, yeah, I'll have to see for myself how big it's going to be for a roguelite. I mean, considering it is roguelite, I think that the gameplay potential, yeah, the level of replay value is seemingly very high. Maybe Sony is listening to MBG and made it free. Yeah, that's why, dude. They tuned in and they're like, you know what? I keep seeing Psyduck TV. You're saying Corey Landiga is Jim Ryan in disguise? Corey, is this true? I don't even know if Corey's here right now. I'm waiting one day to find out that somebody on my channel is secretly actually Jim Ryan. I think I mean we haven't seen him in a little while, but I'm pretty sure if Jim Ryan was secretly on my channel, I think it would be Omen86. Omen86 seems to have a great affinity for Jim Ryan. All right. But yeah, Kyle Film, dude, thank you, man. I appreciate that super chat. We have Dragon Bat Spidey celebrating his 3rd super chat here on the channel, which I really appreciate. And he says, I recently platinumed the PS5 version of Uncharted 4 plus Lost Legacy and The Last of Us Part 1 on the hardest difficulty. Really proud of myself. Well, you should be proud, man, because I mean, I think I attempted to play The Last of Us on grounded difficulty, and it is very challenging. I can't speak for Uncharted, but I assume the level of difficulty is just as high. But yeah, man, those are some I'd say high quality achievements in terms of trophy hunting, completing some of these games on the hardest difficulty. Congrats, man. You did it. I was trying to think of what soundbite I could play to celebrate that, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I have any that would be appropriate. You're saying there must be some PlayStation Studio devs in here who listen. That would be interesting. I never thought of that. I really never thought of that or considered that. I mean, I have to imagine like over like the period of time that I've talked about PlayStation here on the channel, I'm sure like some developers like on like once in a blue moon maybe came across my channel or something, or you know, not necessarily PlayStation devs, but just like and I think I've had like game developers or people who were making games. I don't know if they were any big games, but people who were very interested in getting involved in game development or were working on stuff. Let me know sometimes in the chat in the past. Is it rude when MBG says the amount of time someone is a super chat? No, I'm saying that because YouTube is letting me know. Like if you look in I think it shows in the chat. Yeah, it has like a little balloon and the number 3. It's something that YouTube does now where it says, let's celebrate their 3rd super on a live stream. I think it's kind of cool. It's a nice little shout out, you know, that YouTube's doing there. We have Hellbound 1981. Hellbound, the legend, coming in. Dropping another 5 membership gifts on the community. Guys, let's get some W's flowing in the chat for Hellbound. An absolute legend who is always showing up to these streams, hanging out with the community and showing a lot of love. Always dropping 5 gifts at a time. Hellbound, you've gifted a lot of people, man. Truly. You've been dropping 5 bombs for like months and months and months now. So a lot of people getting membership gifts from Hellbound. And I really appreciate that support, man. That brings us up to 11 members on the day. So thank you. Thank you for keeping the membership train rolling. Let me add that to the counter. And Hellbound, I'll have to give you...
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
and how about
enough from
making a Jim Ryan?
We're gonna have the games do our
We'll let the
talking.
games do the talking, Hellbound. We'll let Dead by Daylight do the talking for MBG. So thank you, man. Yeah, I don't know how much else. I feel weird because I said that I had a lot to say about the day before, but I'm beginning to realize that I don't think I actually have as much to say about it as I thought. I don't know. Like I thought that I would have some kind of rant or something, but I think it's just one of these things where it's like this whole situation was just sad and is it like this whole thing is ending on a whimper, man. It's ending on a whimper and it's just like, wow. This is quite depressing. I guess if anything it just kind of goes to show if there's a lesson to be learned here, we do always have to keep our hype in check, you know? I mean, I think that there are like surefire bets where you can have a certain amount of expectation and hype. For example, like yeah, dude, you're saying it's a scam just like Abandoned. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild, man. And I get like as somebody who was there for Abandoned and really going nuts over it. I remember like dude when it kind of just hit me eventually like holy shit, this wasn't real, you know? And like there were times where I like really believed in I'm like this thing is I know what this is, it's coming, it's you know, it's one big ARG, it's like bro, no, it's how to like somebody out there was looking at me. It was that SpongeBob meme like how do we tell him, you know? That was me, man, out there. Um and it you know, it's just I think what's crazier to me about the day before is like it is a game though. Like they actually did release something, like an actual game, and the studio just shut down. I don't know, dude. I've never seen anything like that. They just shut down. That like the next day, basically. So I guess it really just kind of I guess lets us know once again that there are some things you can be hyped about and you can like feel pretty confident in or very confident in, right? And we talked about Wolverine earlier. Yeah, I'm hyped for Wolverine. I'm going to allow myself to be hyped for Wolverine because it's coming from, you know, it's coming from a known studio, a known company, a known video game publisher, one of the best in the industry. But with stuff like this, where it's like, this is an unknown developer, what's their history? And then when people look into the studio, fantastic, they look into their history. They make like these really small Steam games that get shut down almost immediately, you know. And you could tell that they're just trying to find any inroad to having some kind of hit game that they can maybe latch on to, but it's just not good. And they're a small team, and then they come out and they show these trailers where it's like, wow, man, this looks incredible. This looks like on the same level as something you'd see from Sony or Ubisoft or EA or something like that. And a lot of people take a step back and are like, that's bait, you know, like that's too good to be true. And a lot of people naturally are not going to feel that way. They're just going to feel like, no, dude, this is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for a developer like this to make a game like this. Like, let's support it. Let's be excited. And I just kind of, I'll be honest, man. Like, I feel sorry for anybody um, who really believed in this because it's e- like this is the literal worst thing that could have happened. The game is a complete disaster, completely broken, not at all what it was promised to be, and it's gone now. Like it's not even for sale, and the studio shuts down. I mean, it's like literally the worst thing that could have happened. So I feel like maybe there were a lot of people who thought, okay, maybe it won't be that good, but maybe they can patch it. Maybe it can be a comeback story or something, and we can get it where we want it to be, and it can be our dream game. And it's like, nah, dude, the ship is sunk and it's now at the bottom. It's over. So sad times, man. This year's been crazy for games, for gaming in general. This year has been insane for the gaming industry. Overly ambitious, yeah, it could just. Well, that's the thing is like people are quick, myself included, to call it a scam. But you do have to wonder if maybe that's really just what it comes down to is they had a vision, they really thought they could execute on it, and they had no fucking idea what they were doing. Like they had the hype, right? But that's the thing is it's like what's so weird to me is like if you I think they took down the trailer, but if you were to go watch the first reveal trailer of the day before, shit looked incredible. It did. It looked like a combination of The Division, The Last of Us. And the reason why so many people were calling it fake is because they were like, this just looks too good to be true, especially from a no-name developer. And I think the sad realization is that it was like that to me is where the scam lies. Is it was a fake trailer. Like that isn't the game. Like that's just not the game. I think that's the idea of a game. Like it shouldn't have been called a trailer. It should have been called a concept trailer is what it should have been called. Here's our concept trailer for the day before. This is what we would like to create. This isn't the game. This could be the game. Maybe, right? And they didn't really present it that way. They presented it like this is the game. And when the game finally launched, it's like, what the fuck is this? This isn't anything. So it is. It's false advertising, man. It's the whole thing's a shit show. And so I don't doubt that there was ambition there. Like I think that they wanted to make that game and they want it to find success. But it's just the sad truth of it is you put out a fake trailer that was a concept trailer. You marketed it as an actual trailer for the game. You garnered an incredible amount of hype and potentially goodwill off of a lie. So then when the truth comes out, well, what happens? Well, this is what happens. Because what's the truth? The truth is this isn't anything like the game. Like not even close. I mean, I watched review videos of this shit. I think IGN gave it a 1 out of 10. It's crazy. It's absolute insanity, and it's just sad. And I just think that the more we see things like this happen, I think just the more cautious everybody becomes going forward. And I think it just has overall a negative impact on the entire industry. Like I'm not saying like, oh, when I see State of Decay 3 gameplay now, I'm going to question that and be like, yo, what if this is like the day before? Like it's not going to be like the day before, Like it literally can't be. It's Microsoft, it's Undead Labs. There'll be some level of quality control here. Absolutely. But I do just think that it's like, I think more than anything, situations like this hurt independent studios. It hurts developers that, have ambition, and it makes maybe I don't know, maybe it's an example that if there's anything good that can come out of this is maybe developers and publishers will look at this and be like, you know what, we got to be really careful about the way we sell our games, like in terms of selling it on hype. We got to be really careful, But yeah, shit happens. We have Michael Stanbrook, longtime member, coming in out of nowhere, deciding he wants to drop a membership gift today for the channel and for the community. Michael, thank you so much for keeping the membership train rolling today, bud. You just brought us up to 12 members, which is awesome to see. So we're slowly but surely making our way to the goal. W's in the chat for Michael. Good stuff, man. Appreciate all the support. Really do. Saying this is why console stores are a blessing. They conduct some degree of quality control, unlike PC Wild West. Yeah, that is true as well. It takes a lot, I think, for Valve to delist a game. So the fact that this game got delisted so soon is, I think it kind of speaks volumes. There's another topic I have to talk to you guys about here today. We're gonna move on from the day before, and this I don't have too much to say about this, but I just want to inform everybody. This is being reported by VGC. E3, the games industry's former flagship annual event, is officially dead. This is what the organizer, the Entertainment Software Association, has said. After more than 2 decades of hosting an event that has served as a central showcase for the US and global video games industry, the ESA has decided to end E3. This is what President Stanley Pierre Lewis said in a statement. We know the entire industry, players and creators alike, have a lot of passion for E3. We share that passion. We know it's difficult to say goodbye to such a beloved event, but it's the right thing to do given the new opportunities our industry has to reach fans and partners. E3 was created in 1995 as a means for retailers to meet with game publishers. The event quickly became the tentpole of the industry calendar, attracting millions of eyes and media coverage from around the world. However, in recent years, many game publishers questioned its relevance as the digital world empowered them to reach out directly to their audiences. The pandemic turbocharged this shift, and despite attempts at resurrecting E3, it never recovered. E3 was due to return for its first in person show in 4 years this summer as part of a multi year deal with PAX organizer ReedPop. However, after months of build-up and uncertainty, the show was canceled in March. At the time, ReedPop claimed it simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact of our industry. The events company later parted ways with E3 organizer the ESA, with the latter claiming in September that it was evaluating every aspect of the event. And so, yeah, guys, kind of a sad day in a way. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising. It's not surprising to see E3 die, but it's still kind of sad because I think we all, at least most of us, I think, look back very fondly past E3s. Michael, you're saying, hope you are well, MBG. Sad news about E3. I think Sony's E3 presentations were always better than the showcases. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is if we look back at past E3s, a lot of people look back at a lot of Sony's E3 presentations, some of the most legendary, from some of the worst to some of the best and everything in between. But the one cool thing about E3 um, that I think everybody kind of liked was the competitive nature of it and the volume. You know, it's just like when E3 came around, you knew that, like, man, you're going to get a lot. Maybe it was too much. Maybe we could say that E3 was a little bit overwhelming at times. But there was like this competitive nature, specifically with Sony and Microsoft for a while there, where it's like, what Microsoft goes first and then Sony goes second. And there's just kind of this very rapid back and forth, you know, like kind of 1-2 punch. Um, but yeah, things are different now, man. They've been different for a while. And again, like this announcement that E3 is officially dead is not surprising to me at all because it's just like, of course it is. You know, it's been, I think it's been dead for a while. That's the thing. E3 has been dead for a while, but the thing about it now is it's just official. It's not coming back. There is no hope for an E3 next year. It's just it's over. Um, so today E3 gets laid to rest. Salute E3. You know, brought a lot of good memories. Have a lot of good memories. You hope that PlayStation starts doing their showcases in person. Not gonna happen, man. I get that. It would be really cool to see that, but it's just not gonna happen for multiple reasons. Um, the biggest reason, the two biggest reasons are the amount of money it takes to put on an in-person show, and the second reason is the lack of control. When you do something live like that, things can go wrong, and we've seen that. It like they do go wrong. Um, Sony going forward is 100% going to stick to digital showcases because they have complete control over it. There's no risk, doesn't cost a lot of money. I mean, ultimately for Sony as a company, it's a win-win. But yeah, I don't know, man. There is something to be said for that kind of in-person, there always kind of had to be this There's a more tangible aspect to the in-person shows. I feel like it naturally allowed developers to speak a little bit more, to kind of give them the show floor, so to speak, for a little bit. It's not that we don't get that at all, but it's very, very controlled. Yeah, on stage keynotes, I agree, are pretty cool. But yeah, I agree with that. You're saying that's why it's fun and exciting. The total control of the messaging is BS. Yeah, the idea of them having complete and total control over every aspect makes it makes it pretty sterile, where it's like there isn't going to be any surprises necessarily. But for me, it all comes down to one thing, though. Jeff is the Sith Lord. He now hosts the Game Awards and Summer Game Fest. Yeah, there is still Summer Game Fest, so hopefully Jeff can keep it alive. Um, I will say though, you know, I I feel like it ultimately just comes down to one thing at the end of the day, though, and that is I want to see Sony. I don't care how they do their shows, right? Like you want to do a state of play, that's cool. But when you do a showcase, if you want to keep your showcases digital, the only thing that matters to me is you gotta show the goods, man. Like you gotta show up with some good stuff. And that was, you know, we look back at what like E3 2015, E3 2016. Sony had some of the best showcases ever. Chris, you're saying you guess you're going to Germany next year? Wait, didn't MBG say E3 was dead last year? It basically was. So E3 was dead, but now it's buried, basically, like officially. Like it was dead with, I think there was like this kind of hope that we could resurrect it, but now it's been confirmed. Like, yeah, there's no resurrecting it. It's just a corpse. We have to lay it to rest. As sad as that sounds. Yeah, it's gone for good now. No chance of return. Um, I think really, yeah, it all comes down to Jeff Keighley and Summer Game Fest, and it's up to Jeff to kind of, it's up to Jeff, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, and obviously the other publishers to kind of keep E3 alive in the sense of like it may not all happen at the exact same time in the same place, but I still kind of look at May, June, July as like those are the event months, where Microsoft's gonna have an event, Sony's gonna have an event, Nintendo probably will, Summer Game Fest, EA, Ubisoft, etc. Are we so fast to be okay with no human interaction whatsoever? No host, just a trailer drop. I'm not on board. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I want to. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's so weird in a way. Like it all happens so quick that it's just like I don't know really what to think about it other than well, I guess this is just the way it is now. Uh yeah, here we go. IGN gives The Day Before a 1 out of 10. Unbearable. The Day Before is easily one of the worst games I've ever played, to the point where I'm afraid to continue running it on my PC. And if you didn't manage to try it yourself, you can probably count yourself as one of the lucky ones. Imagine getting a 1 out of 10 from IGN, bro. Oof. Oof. Not good. Not good at all. That sucks. That sucks for anybody who bought that game, man. But here we are. All right. Well, yeah, I think that pretty much does it for the topic list today. Nothing is as good as it was. Yeah. Viking Thunder, you're saying it scares you that Xbox is going all in on an AI gaming future. You really hope Sony has other plans for PlayStation. Our games need to be made by humans. I agree with that. Like, I think AI certainly has a place to an extent for certain areas of game development, but yeah, generally speaking, we need our games to be made by people. Xbox is tired of managing people. I mean, I could understand that. I could understand that. I'm sure. I mean, that's the dream, right? For these companies. The dream is we don't have to pay employees anymore. Everything would just be made for us. We just save that money, make money. Does anyone remember the jam pack discs for PS1? I feel like I do, yeah. BB12, you're saying there's an interesting topic on VGC about Indiana Jones exclusivity? Harlem PS Gamer, you're saying MBG, did you check your wrap up? Yeah, I did. Uh Basically all you need to know is I played a lot of Dead by Daylight, bro. Let me check VGC though. Disney says Indiana Jones Xbox exclusivity deal made financial and strategic sense. Disney's gaming boss has discussed the decision to make Bethesda's upcoming Indiana Jones game on Xbox console exclusive. While the untitled game was originally set to come to PlayStation 2, PlayStation as well. When I read it that way, it sounds like a PS2 game. It was recently confirmed that it will be an Xbox and PC exclusive and a day one release on Game Pass. Oh my God. You guys ever get that feeling where it feels like your tongue has an itch? Does anybody get, you guys know what I'm talking about? And it's like the weirdest fucking feeling ever. It's either like your tongue or the roof of your mouth is itchy. Shit, dude. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Oh man. It's not going away. Help. I'm allergic to this article. It says the terms of Disney's agreement with Bethesda were negotiated after Microsoft acquired the studio parent company ZeniMax for $7.5 billion in 2021. Disney's head of gaming, Sean Shoptow, told Axios, with Xbox still being one of the bigger marketplaces for games, we didn't feel like we were going to be overly exclusionary. We felt like it's still going to reach a broad set of folks, and we felt financially and strategically for the game that it made sense at the time. Okay, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. you know, I'll be honest. I thought that there was going to be something more to the article. Like I thought that there was some kind of like news regarding it, but it's just like, all right. I mean, Indiana Jones, I feel like is fine to be exclusive to Xbox. I don't know what to say. You're saying this is the best gift from Santa Monica. Damn. BB12, you're like, I'm sorry. No, it's okay. I mean, I don't mind anybody recommending stuff to me. I'm just being honest, like where it's just like, okay, ABG, what happened to your hair? It fucked off. That's what happened to it. All right. I'm going to look for one more thing here, and then we'll probably move over to the members lounge. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I think we'll be good to start the members lounge in a couple minutes here. Okay. All right. So yeah, I don't want to just keep this stream going for the sake of it because my hair got acquired by Microsoft. This is why I hate Microsoft. No, but I think this is where I'm going to call it. Went through all the topics today. Take my hat off. Nah, man. Not today. Today's not the day. Today's definitely not the day. But yeah, so for anybody who's a channel member here, we're going to be heading over to the members lounge. The members lounge is going to go live in the next probably 5 to 10 minutes. So Yeah, before I head out, though, I do want to just thank everybody for tuning in today. To anybody who watched live, anybody who watches after the fact, thank you guys for all of your support. I also want to give a big shout out to anybody who gifted memberships or became a channel member today. Thank you so much for the direct support. I couldn't do what I do without you. And the same goes for anybody who donated a super chat. Again, this channel is fan funded. This content is fan funded, and you guys power it. So big thank you. And yeah, I also want to give a special shout out to Devil Shooter. He does the timestamps for the streams. So if you see him, give him a big thank you. But if you are a member, I'll see you in a couple minutes in the members lounge. If you are not, or you're just not tuning in, then I will catch you in the next one. So that does it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, take care.